Okay, so welcome on board, everybody. It's great to see you all, and thanks for joining us. I know a lot of people have come and said hello in the chat box, but we always like to kind of see where everybody is dialing in from. So please do let us know. Welcome to another one of Suzie's Mindset Masterclasses, which I've taken it upon myself to rename the session, Suzie. I hope you don't mind. I quite like Mindset Masterclass. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, the only reason I joined this is so I can hear your wonderful welcome.
So as we know, Suzie's been very instrumental in our group and providing lots of content for us. So it's great to have you back on your fortnightly slot. So as always, as I always say, nobody's here for little old me. It's all about you, Suzie. So thanks in advance for putting this together. We can't wait to hear what you have to say about abundance. And I know that's a topic that has that's started to come up over the last few months. So over to you, Suzie.
Well, thank you for the lovely masterful welcome, as always. Amazing. Lovely to see everyone here. Please do pop in the chat where you're dialing in from. I'm coming from Coulston in Surrey in the UK. I know sometimes we have people from abroad, which is exciting because it means that, you know, we're making more of an impact in the world, which is really, really great. So I'm here to talk about how to shift from a scarcity mindset into more of an abundant mindset. So we're going to look at whether you have a scarcity mindset or abundant mindset, or where you are on what is effectively a scale, and ways in which we can shift you out of any scarcity which you might be feeling right now. And we're just going to be looking at different areas of your life, such as your time, your money, friendship, freedom, etc. So let me just check in the chat box and see if you've got any comments in there. Okay, let's see. So we've got from Essex, Guildford, Surrey, two people in Surrey, Surbiton. I've got a friend that lives there, Michael. West London, another one from London, and we have the Philippines. Hi, Maria. Hello, hope you're all well. Lovely to see you. So I'll come back to the chat a bit later. So, question for you: how often do we pay attention to our thoughts? Now, this is something I talk about a lot, but it's really, really important that we pay more attention to our thoughts, because it's our thoughts that feed our mind, and it's our thoughts that create our outcome in life. And if we're not consciously aware of the thoughts that we're running in our mind every day, then we're not really aware of how much scarcity we're living in or how much abundance we're living in. So I would say that is the first place to start in terms of that scarcity versus abundant mindset. Like, how often do you pay attention to your thoughts, and what are they? What are these thoughts? So your thoughts typically based in fear and negativity, or are they focused on things that you don't have? They're focused on lack, such as I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough job opportunities. What are you telling yourself every single day? Because it does actually affect how you feel and the outcome that you get in life. Or are your thoughts more positive? Are they hopeful or focused? Are you more focused on the things that you have? Now, I'd love to know, and pop in the chat box, what you think the ratio of your thoughts are. Like, I say for myself, I'm like 80% positive thoughts that I'm aware of, and 20% I'm negative thinking. So I'd love for you to pop in the chat box where you think you sit in terms of, you know, if you were to rate your thinking out of 100%, are you like 50-50, positive, negative? Do you feel like you're more positive than you are negative? What comes up for you? And Paul, pop in your own percentage as well, if you feel that's single. So we've got, hi from Dubai, Janet, hi. So Susan says 60% negative, 40% positive. Wonderful. So thank you so much, Susan, for sharing, and I'd love to be able to support you today to find ways to shift from that 60% negative to 40%, positive, and shift it the other way around. Michael, love it. You're with me. And Michelle, sorry, apologies, calling you Michael. So Michelle is 80% positive, 20% negative. We've got a 60% negative, 40% positive, 90% positive. Doing better than me, Paul. 60% negative. Right, brilliant. So we've got a bit 60-40, a 50-50, and Paul is diving in at a 90. So Eva said, I had been in a rather negative world of thought, so I'm moving out of that, which is amazing. Mindfulness is helping tenfold. Oh, it so does. Helping me focus on working out how to be more positive and in the present moment, right? Because when we're stressed and anxious and panicking, we are not in the present moment. So we've got 70% positive, 30, lots of different ones. So thank you everyone for sharing that. That's really, really insightful to get a good understanding of where you're kind of all at. So just talking about the difference between the mindsets in terms of abundance and scarcity, do you sometimes find yourself saying or thinking that the world is against me, everything is going wrong? Or are you more, oh, you know, everything is there to help me, that's a resource, that person's there to help me? So again, you know, just reflect on that. If you want to share it in the chat box, please do. But just some questions to start thinking about and to start helping you become more aware of your thoughts. Okay, so let me address what specifically a scarcity mindset is. So basically, a scarcity mindset comes from fear. It comes from the unknown and the uncertain. Like the mind doesn't like uncertainty. It likes to find answers. So when we have a fear of the unknown, we effectively create a belief that there will never be enough, you know, never enough time, never enough money. And of course, this results in emotional responses or physiological responses in our body through our autonomic nervous system. It can create fear, stress, and anxiety. And we can even go into that fight and flight when your body is, the muscles are tensing, like you're ready to effectively run, your body is getting ready to get into action. But when we're like that, we're holding on to stress in our body. So a scarcity mindset is not good for us. It doesn't promote health and well-being. Whereas an abundant mindset, rather, comes from a much more of a deep inner sense of personal self-worth and security. It's very much grounded in the belief that there's more than enough for everyone. There's more than enough time, money, happiness, joy, jobs, fun, webinars, everything. There is an abundance, but it is a mindset shift. It's like, it's what you believe. So if you believe there's not enough, then you're going to be in scarcity. If you feel that you have an abundance, or there's an abundance of everything in the world, it's just a matter of finding a strategy to create this more of whatever it is you need in your life, then you've got more of an abundance mindset. So let me just check if there's anything in the chat, see if there's any comments coming in. So Hal said both. Wonderful. Okay, so I want to share this quote. Has anyone heard of the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey? Paul, you've read that. I thought you would have done. It's a fantastic book. It is quite a big, it's on my bookshelf over there, but it's quite a big chunky one, but it's definitely worth a read if you're interested in shifting your mindset, doing self-development. And I really just want to share this quote from what he says in this book. And he says, when you live in a world of scarcity, you're competing for available resources, even when there's an abundance of them. And I just love that, because we have an abundance of everything. Okay, but it's our mindset which starts to put us into that scarcity mode and say, oh no, you've not got enough. So let's talk about some examples here so we can put it into perspective. So this can be quite common in corporate environments in terms of scarcity, like not enough promotions. And certainly in the assistant industry, or when I did the role for 22 years, it's sometimes quite difficult to kind of get out of the PA/EA role and go into something else. So it can feel like there's a scarcity of promotions or opportunities, and sometimes raises, like pay rises, and bonuses can be far and few between. So 2008, the recession, and obviously we're going through another economic, difficulty, shall we say. So it becomes, more scarcity, and the more we focus on that, the more scarcity we will feel. There's a scarcity of women in leadership roles, a scarcity of women, sitting on the board. So it's not just a scarcity of time or money. It can be a scarcity of many different things. It can be, this is all around mindset, it can be a scarcity of time, money, opportunities, even down to like toilet paper and hand sanitizer at the height of lockdown. So if, for those in the UK, certainly, what happened for us at the beginning of lockdown, everyone went into that fear state, that scarcity mindset. There is not enough. And people started bulk buying toilet paper, maybe it was comfort, I'm not sure the psychology behind it, and hand sanitizer, which is, that is a need to feel safe. If we wash our hands and put hand sanitizer, we're safe from COVID, or we're safer. But the reason, or from my perspective, the reason people reacted like this was because of the fear of the unknown, the fear of that uncertainty of this huge virus that's going around that we've never experienced in our lifetime across the world. So there was definitely a scarcity mindset, and like, I must buy all the toilet paper, I must buy loads of hand sanitizer because there's not going to be enough for me. But as the supermarket said, in the UK at least, there is enough for everyone, just buy what you need. But that's what happens when we go into fear and we go into uncertainty in terms of of what we feel is available to us, resources, as Stephen Covey says. So also, we can let our external factors influence our thought process and our decision making ability. So that can help us, or not help us, but it can switch us from an abundant to a scarcity mindset. As I said, it's a scale. We're not always in one or the other. It's a sliding scale. So it can depend on various things, from the decisions we make or the external influences and how we react to them. And as I always say, everything comes down to what we think and feel. So what we choose to think and feel really is affected and influenced by our external stimuli and the thought process that follows that. So we are what we think. As I've said time and time again, what you think affects how you feel affects how you act affects the outcome that you create in your life. So when you start to shift how you think and feel, then everything else starts to shift along. But it is a habit, and it takes time. It takes time to build a habit. So one of the things that I've done, which I think will be useful for you, is to create a mantra. So when you're noticing that you're going perhaps into a little bit of fear or uncertainty around the unknown, or you're noticing some negative thoughts, and perhaps you're saying, oh my God, I've not got enough money, I don't know how I'm going to pay the bills. And that may feel like, or may be the reality, but we can still change our mindset. And when we change our mindset, we can change, what we notice going on in the world. We can see opportunities which perhaps we hadn't seen before. So I want to share a little story with you. I've got some notes here I want to share with you. In August, for a few weeks, I felt that I was definitely drifting into that lack mentality. And for me, it was around time. And I just want to read out some of the thoughts that I wrote down. I've got this little notepad here, and I wrote down a thought diary. And the things that I was saying to myself is, I don't have enough time. So I said that at least 6 times that I caught within the space of 5 minutes. And did I feel like I had loads of time? Of course not, because I kept on telling my mind, my brain, that I didn't have enough time. I was saying, I'm not prepared enough. I literally just haven't got the time for this. I haven't had the time. I still have to do that. How do I cram all of this in? I've got too much to do, only an hour. I can't do all of this on my own. You get the gist, right? But a powerful exercise is to actually write down your thoughts, because when you write them down, it starts to shift. It shifts your energy, it shifts your mindset, and effectively it gets you out of that pattern, that cycle of negative thoughts, so that you can start feeling more positive. And honestly, when I did this, it was like a page and a half of A5 over the course of, I think, the day. But by the end of the day, I felt so much calmer. I was even saying more positive things about time. So if you're noticing, and is anyone noticing where they're getting stuck in terms of scarcity? Is it time, money, job opportunities? Pop it in the chat and let me know, because this is a useful exercise for you to do, to write down these thoughts as a thought diary and get it out of your head. Trust me, things really, really shift when you do that. Another thing you can do is create a mantra for yourself that you can repeat every day. You can have it recorded so you can play it, or you can have it pop up on your phone. You can say it out loud, which I'd say would be ideal. But a mantra that will kind of bring you back into abundance. So for me, I created the mantra of I give myself permission to pause and breathe, because I found that I was saying to myself, oh, I don't have the time, and I was working really hard, but it was actually working against me. So my mantra, I give myself permission, because I hadn't been, to pause and breathe, was really powerful for me, because it just allowed me to come back to that present moment and just breathe, just pause, knowing that I had enough time to do that. So maybe you can create a mantra of your own. Maybe I have an abundance of money, time, job interviews, opportunities, whatever it is that you feel that you're currently lacking in. So I've got some comments in the chat box. So is it Hal? I think that's, yes, Hal. Hal said money. Lisa said scarcity of time for myself and with my family. Simi, I agree with writing things down. I've recently started journaling. It's so helpful. It really is. And who else here journals, and how do they find that helps them? Job opportunities and money. Job opportunities, I'm contracting, but need a permanent role. I'm glad to be working, but yeah, ... Likewise, Michelle, my contract ends in December. All of them, time, money, job opportunities. Where will I be in 7 years' time? Broke. Okay, so Jacqueline, don't focus on 7 years' time. Who knows where you'll be in 7 years' time? Focus on today. You're not broke. That's your belief. So focus on where you are today and go from there. Julie, hi Julie. She said job opportunities. I agree with writing things down. I've started journaling too. Marie said job opportunity. Yeah, okay. So we've got loads of stuff here. Eva said finding a job. Challenges. Finding a job is a challenge after redundancy. Knocked my confidence, got me worrying. Okay, so write down the negative thoughts that come up. Create a mantra. Fantastic, Jacqueline. Well done. So lots of stuff there, and we can see how much we're all kind of, including myself, sitting in the scarcity mindset, apart from Paul, because he's doing really well. Still that 10%, Paul. Still that 10%, right? So does anyone write down mantras and pop in the chat if you do have a mantra and what your mantra is? I'd love to hear it. So I want to give you sort of 3 different ways you can start shifting your mindset in terms of moving away from the scarcity into more of the abundance. I've given you a couple already, like write down, literally have a thought diary and write down every single negative thought. Like if it's like I don't, or it's hard, or I haven't got enough, anything that starts to look at lack or is negative, write it down. Trust me, it works absolute wonders. And then the mantra. So the next point is like focus on what you have, because so often, right, I'm just as guilty. We focus on what we don't have. Okay, we focus on our contract running out, or not having as much money as we like, or not having enough time, etc. So the more we focus on, the more that persists. Okay, so it's the more we're gonna start feeling like we don't have enough time. When I kept on saying I don't have enough time, I don't have enough time, what did I feel? That I didn't have enough time. Okay, so instead, when you notice you're focusing on lack or what you don't have, choose to instead to focus on what you do have. Like you have a roof over your head, you have internet connection, you have friends, you have family, you have food in the cupboard. These are things that I'm pretty sure most people have got, if not everyone. Like things, just focus on what you do have, like a good CV, experience, etc. And it leads me on to say, like, focus on the things that you're grateful for. Because when you focus on gratitude, what happens is you naturally pull yourself out of that scarcity mindset. If you're focusing on, oh, I don't really have enough time, and you start to switch that thought to, I have an abundance of time, then you start to feel more positive. You just can't help but feel more abundant. So I'd encourage you to start noting down, say, 3 things that you'd be grateful for each morning, evening, or throughout the day. If you just want to start journaling throughout the day, whatever works for you. I do it in the morning, but I know someone was talking about mindfulness, and when we come back to the present moment, then we are able to feel more grateful because we are living in that moment. We are grateful for the comfort of our seat, what we see, what we hear, what we feel, and we're really sitting in everything that we're feeling in that present moment. So the second thing I'd say is look for the lesson, okay? When you're caught in a scarcity mindset, I am not making progress, think about the lesson. Like for me, when I was saying to myself, I haven't got enough time, for me, my lesson was I need to schedule in more time to plan my week, which I've now done. I did that this morning, so that I don't feel pressured or rushed, that I know exactly what I'm doing, I'm time blocked. And also you can look at things from a different perspective. So what different perspective can you look at it at something at? So for me, the time example, I think Lisa mentioned about time as well. You could say, I have an abundance of time. Or if you look at someone like Richard Branson, he's a busy guy. And yes, I know he's got huge teams around the world supporting him, but he's still got a lot to do and he gets stuff done. So know that if he can do it, then so can you. So look at a different perspective, look at the lesson, and look at how you can learn and grow from the experience. So when you find that lesson, it will help you shift from that scarcity mindset more into the abundant mindset, so you can focus more on the possibilities. My next point really is about believing that you are enough. So believing, when I speak to clients or those that are interested in working with me, they often say, I don't know enough to build a VA business, or I'm not enough. Okay. And that's again a scarcity mindset. So recognize that and literally believe that you are enough. You have enough skills, enough experience, enough intelligence, enough knowledge, enough know-how and resilience to figure it out. You have enough qualifications. You don't need to do another qualification to take that next step. You just trust. Okay, so step into the belief that you are worthy, and that will help you again shift more into that abundant mindset. So believing you deserve more, okay, doesn't mean that someone else gets less. That's scarcity mindset. Know that there is enough for everyone. Okay, so that's why I want you to start shifting your thinking. I want to share 3 questions. I'll pop them in the chat. 3 questions to ask yourself. So where in your life do you have thoughts of scarcity? Now, we've explored this a bit already, and this seems to be centered a lot around job opportunities, a little bit around time. Some people said in lots of different areas in their life, etc. But look at where in your life you have thoughts of scarcity, and then do the thought diary, write them down. Works wonders. And then where in your life are you already abundant? Do you have an abundance of, love from your children or grandchildren, from your friends? Do you have an abundance of support? Do you have an abundance of fresh air? Do you have an abundance of greenery near where you live? Think about what you have an abundance of, because trust me, there is an abundance of many things out there. It's mindset shift. And how can you bring more abundance into your life? So let me just pop these into the chat. So how can you bring more abundance into your life? It could be from shifting your thoughts to thinking in a different way, a more positive way, focusing on what you do have instead of what you don't have. How else could you bring more abundance into your life? You could be focusing on the things that you have around your home that you appreciate, such as gas, water, electricity, a roof over your head. Bring in more abundance. It can come in many different forms, so I'll let you decide on that. So I just want to check the comments, see what else there is. Right. Okay, so Jacqueline said, how do you do it, Paul? Well, I'll let Paul come on in a second because I'm almost finished. Simi says he uses affirmations. Yeah, I do too. Kind of got a shower routine going where I've got like a little speaker, waterproof speaker, so I listen to a money mantra, and then when the adverts come in from YouTube, I turn it off. I read my my mantras, which are stuck on the outside of the shower door, and then I do a 3 or 4 minute visualization of, what would the Suzie who I want to be, how would they act, how would they feel, how would they be showing up in the world? So that's some little tips there. Eva, good luck with your job search. It's really kind. Yeah, good luck, Michelle. Eva said, I keep a little diary, write down positive, happy moments I experienced. Positive affirmations again. I can and I will, absolutely. So positive affirmations seem to be a popular one. Gratitude list daily, which helps. I have a couple glued to my bathroom mirror. Amazing. Michelle, I'm so grateful for what I have, and I'm really lucky to be working remotely. My contract is a rolling one. but lockdown has given me time to think about what I really want and deserve. I love that. That gives me goosebumps. And absolutely. And focus on what you deserve. I feel stressed wanting this in such difficult times for everyone around me. Okay, so that's kind of shifting to the scarcity mindset, because you're effectively, what I'm hearing is you're saying that if I want this, I'm being greedy or selfish because other people are suffering. You are not taking anything away by moving yourself forward. In fact, if anything, you are helping more people because you get to inspire people. So when I invest in myself, and I invested in a new set of coaches recently, my mindset is that of an abundance and a positive mindset of, I know that I'm investing into my business, into myself, and that is going to enable me to help more people. So it has an impact. So think of it like that. Eva says, my friends, my little home, my garden, my relatives abroad are great support to keep me focused via these webinars. Brilliant. Another one for a gratitude journal and diary. Amazing. So I'm just going to share, you're welcome, Michelle. I'm just going to share a couple of links. So the first link is to I send out a weekly business Kickstarter for those that are considering or thinking about moving into the VA space. So it's just full of useful tips, advice. I get feedback from it. People tell me it makes them laugh. So it's just what I needed to hear today. So if that feels like it would benefit you, then please download that. And I've also got another freebie, which is, it's a PDF, 5 things you need to know before you quit the 9-to-5. So those that are thinking about the VA route, please do download those, because they will be a wonderful resource to you. Paola, you are welcome. I'm going to hand back over to Paul. Just want to check firstly though that everyone enjoyed that. What were their takeaways? Pop it in the chat. But I'm going to hand back to Paul, and he can share with us what gets him to 90%.
Don't put me on the spot like that, Suzie.
Oh, you'll be fine. Come on, show us.
I'm not used to the spotlight, Suzie. It's that these things are never about me, as I always say. Look, I love all of these webinars, especially the ones that you do, because I think we're very much of the same mindset, which is why it kind of works so well having you on. But
definitely steering you on.
I agree with the abundance mindset is, I find is quite commonly misunderstood, because if you say abundance, people think about wealth and having lots of everything and being self-centered and bits and pieces like that. Luckily, as a human being, from a very early age, I've always been a fairly confident guy. And probably by my own admissions throughout my 20s, I was probably overconfident and probably quite arrogant, to be fair. But it's only as I've got older, I've kind of managed to realize that and, address that and change that arrogance and focus the confidence into having some kind of faith and channeling it into the right things. And, no matter how desperate the situation is, the way that I see things, no matter how desperate the situation is, there's always something that can be learned to go, and so you can then therefore better that and push forward and do something else. We're working on an amazing event at the moment, which is taking up 14 hours of my day every single day. I'm certain it's going to be a great success, but if it doesn't get to the point where I want it to be, then it will be disappointing, but ultimately it's great because we can look at all the things that we've done and then realize, well, actually, this is the point that didn't work. So the next time we can make it even better.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Paul. And I love what you say. And I think that applies to the job search as well. And we were talking a bit about this earlier. And it's, if you're applying for jobs and nothing's working, then instead of feeling sorry for yourself, and you can and do step into how you feel, it's important to step into that, but also look at it from the perspective that both me and Paul have talked about. Like, what can you learn, what can you do differently next time, instead of seeing it as you failed or it's a negative. See it as an opportunity. Okay, there's an opportunity in everything if we have our eyes open and we're willing to look. Would you agree, Paul?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I remember listening to Tony Robbins, and he was you know, and look, you know, it's not a secret. You know, if you're trying something, it doesn't work. Okay, why didn't it work? So let's try again. We keep trying and we keep trying, and eventually it will happen. You know, and eventually these, you know, you keep plugging away, you're going to get the right outcome at the end of it. It's just kind of keep pushing on and keeping focus on the end goal. So that's the way that I try and do things. It's not easy, of course it's not, and you know, we all have days where you think, oh, you know, of course we do, but ultimately if you're focusing more on the end product, you know, quite often that's when, you know, it's kind of you get your focus to go.
Yeah, totally. And I would say if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. Like if it was easy to build a business or move country or run a marathon, everyone would be doing it. So, you know, as Claudia said, you know, you've got to take action. Important to be kind to ourselves. We're all humans, etc. I also want to share a book recommendation because I don't know if you've read this, Paul, and it's probably backwards, but it's the Motivation Manifesto by Brendan Burchard. He's a high performance coach, and oh my God, it's amazing. He talks about fear, freedom. You read this, have you?
I haven't read that one. I've read his. I've read another one which is about the habits of successful people. But not that one. No.
This is an absolute, I mean, as you can see, like I've got sticky notes to go back over stuff. I've highlighted it. I've read through it again. But if anyone wants a little bit of motivation and boost, then I highly recommend the Motivation Man. And I'll just write it in the chat, and you can find it on Amazon. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Thank you, and I love these talks and how you just add your own little bit of input at the end. I think it just brings it all around really nicely. So thank you everyone who showed up today, and I'm so glad that you got value from it. I've got the topic for a couple of weeks' time. It's one of my favourite subjects, but I'm going to keep you all in a little bit of suspense because I think that's fun. And Paul will share information a little bit nearer the time, but I hope to see you all again.
Brilliant.
And thank you for turning up.
Thank you, Susie, and thanks to everyone who's on the call. And what's always been nice throughout Susie's webinars especially is the way that everybody kind of comes together, and the community that's been built around this. It's so amazing to see, and it's nice that when we started this in March with the sole purpose in mind of kind of getting together and having the community that's built around us, and we're 6 months on, and it's, you know, the community is ever stronger and everybody's chatting and helping each other out. So it's wonderful to see. For those of you that haven't seen, although it's quite difficult to avoid it, we've got a huge event coming up on the 1st of October, and I can see but not one but two of our wonderful speakers. Hello, Claudia, lovely to see you. Are with us today, and the tickets are on sale now. Please join us. It'll be lovely to see you all. I put a link for tickets in the chat box as well. So if anyone is interested in setting up a virtual assistant business, we've got the best around teaching us how to do it. So come and join us because it will be great. But Susie, as always, thanks again. It's great to see you. Thanks for all your lovely comments, everyone. And
thank you.
Thanks for all your support. We really, really appreciate it.
So love to you all. Stay safe, and I'll see you back here in a couple of weeks.
Good stuff. See you all soon.
Bye. Bye, Claudia.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Pleasure.